Hello everyone. In this video, we will talk about the scenario manager feature of Microsoft Excel. In the earlier video, we saw the goal seek feature, which was a part of the what if analysis section or the what if analysis command. This scenario manager is also a part of the what if analysis, which is a part of the data tab in your Excel, right? The goal seek was about achieving your target. Yeah, you do some analysis in terms of what if I do this, what if I do that, right? We saw that example as well in the goal seek video, right? Here we will compare scenarios. What if I go with this scenario? What if I go with that scenario? How beneficial is this over this? And analysis on similar lines. It lets you add multiple scenarios, and then it lets you compare all those scenarios at a single glance, right? That's what the scenario manager feature does for you, right? So I have a data which is already set up here. Let's assume that I'm an employee of an organization and my current monthly income is $3,000 or pounds or whatever currency, right? All my expenses have been also mentioned here. Okay, so from the B3 cell till the B11, I've got my expenses. Then I have also done a summation of all the expenses. So if you look at the cell B13, there is a summation done of B3 to B11. Okay, all my expenses totally added up, right? And then finally, there is another calculation done here, which is a simple subtraction of the monthly income minus the expenses, the final savings figure, right? So multiple numbers are there in this data, a couple of calculations also done, right? Now, please understand that I have already given name to this B11 cell as water, okay? We did discuss the concept of name in one of the earlier modules that we did, right? So you select your data, you come to this name box, you type a name of your choice without space, right? And press enter, yeah? And that's the quick summary of the naming features. That's what I've done here, yeah? But what I've done here is I've only given name to just one single cell, yeah? It's not the entire column or a row or some 2 or 3 cells, right? The name water is given to just one single cell here, which is the B11 cell, which contains the value 15, okay? Similarly, I've also given names to the other numbers as well. So if you select this 250, it automatically comes up with food, yeah? So the names have already been defined, right? You must have noticed by now that whatever is given as the expense item, okay, that itself is the name of the figure. So 700 is for rent, right? And that exactly is also the rent, the name given in the name box, right? 90 is given as travel, and that also is available in the name box, right? So whatever is available on the left column has been assigned as name, yeah? How do I do this? I simply select the whole data. I went into my formulas tab, and then I went into my create from selection, and I only kept a tick mark on this left column. Yep. Okay, all right. So let's just move on. Let's just think of this as a scenario. Okay, that's my existing state. That's my present scenario. All right. Now I am also considering a job change, right? I'm also looking at another scenario here where I want to. I think I might also get a promotion in the same job. Okay, and there could be another fourth scenario where I want to completely move out of all job offers and start a business, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at multiple possibilities in my life, okay? And now I would like to figure out which one would be the most beneficial in terms of the final leftover, okay? The savings, right? So I'll compare all these scenarios and ask Excel to give me the best one, right? let's see how this works, right? Excel will simply give you all scenarios in one glance. Obviously the user has to decide which one to go with. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, let's just go to the data tab. I don't really have to select anything. I can go with what if analysis. I can go with this first one, which is scenario manager. It currently says there are no scenarios added, but I can add one right now. So I can say add. Initially, let's just add the current scenario, current or present scenario. So I can just type current. Next is it says by changing cells. We had this parameter in the goal seek as well. Remember in goal seek, we had this parameter named as changing cell, right? Just one single cell was allowed to be changed. Here it says cells, so it could be a list, right? It could be multiple, it could be two or more. Yeah, it could be just one as well. Yeah. Okay, so what all things could change? Well, my monthly income could change if I get into a business, or also if I move my if I switch jobs, again the monthly income would change. If I get promoted, obviously the monthly income will increase. If I stay in the same company and get a better designation, right? So in all these cases, there is a possibility of the monthly income can change, right? Okay, so I select B1, comma. Okay, in all these scenarios, even the expenses will change. So I select this 700 cell and the entire column of all my expenses, which is B3 to B11. So a control shift down on that column of expenses. Okay, now let's hit the OK from here. Okay, I'll not bother about these two cells because they simply contain my calculations. Yeah, and I am actually interested in these two cells. What will be my total amount of expenses and how much will I end up saving? So I will not right now bother about these two, right? I'll say OK from here. Okay, I'll say OK, and it comes to a window which shows me all my figures. So it picks up the 3000 from the monthly income cell, it picks up the 700, picks up the 90. Yeah, so from the respective cells it picks up those values and shows me those values. I'll say OK, no problem. I'll say OK. So let's come here and say OK. Yeah, and so that's it. I have just added one scenario by the name current. Yeah. Okay, let's add another one. So I just mentioned about a promotion in the company. So let's go with that. Promotion is possible. I might get promoted because of my last few months performance. So I will just give the name as promotion. By changing cells, well, I will not really bother about them because it will stay at B1 and then the rest of the expenses. So I'll not change that. I'll say OK. Now let's assume that if I get promoted, my monthly income will change from 3000 to, let's say, 3400. This is just an example. Maybe I will move into a bigger house. So my current rent is 700. It'll change to, let's say, 900. Yeah, I'm just giving an example here. Travel, well, I think the office will still remain same. So I don't really have to bother about travel, but if I move into a bigger house, which is away from my existing office location, there is a chance that the travel expenses also will change, right? So similarly, I can simply keep on making changes to whatever fields I feel will change. Okay, so going out with friends, for example, because I just got promoted, maybe I will get less time to spend with my friends. So let's reduce this. Okay, again, this is just an example, right? So I make it 400 from 500, and that's it. I will not bother about changing the other values now, but in real life, when you apply the scenario manager, you will actually take a rough idea about what this expense can be and put in the figure there. Yeah. Okay, let's just click on add. Okay, of course I can click on OK as well, but I can click on add as well. So the OK will take me back to the scenario manager's window. and add will let me add another scenario from here itself. So let's go with add this time. Okay, I click on add, right? I will simply add another scenario here. So we spoke about the current scenario, we spoke about the promotion. Let's talk about, let's say, job change, right? So I can come here and name it as job change. Here the space is okay, right? But the space is not okay in the name box, right? Now by changing cells, I'll keep it the way it is. I'll say okay. And so if I get a better offer, it would be of, let's say, $4,000. Maybe I will move into a house which only has a rent of 500. Then let's say travel will be a bit more, for example, and I'll just keep making changes here. Electricity, let's make it 40. Phone, let's make it 50. Yeah, and I can simply say okay from here. So I can just keep on adding multiple scenarios. Now, in the interest of time, I will simply stick to just the 3 scenarios, and the values which I've added, reduced or increased, are just randomly done. Yeah, but in real life, you will take an approximate amount, yeah, and then put in those figures there, right? I've currently kept my mouse on the first scenario, okay, and I may want to simply click on this option here that says show. Yeah, it displays the existing one, right? I can keep my mouse on the promotion, right? Please note that in the current scenario, I'm saving only 1170, right? Okay, but let's go with promotion and click on show. Yeah, the figure quickly changes to 1460. Even this figure changes, right? Yeah, and these figures also change depending on what we have added earlier, correct? Yeah, so I will save 1460. Let's click on job change and click on show. It says 2285. Yeah, all these figures changing, right? Yeah, now I can't keep doing this one by one. I mean, I can't keep on clicking on one of the scenarios and then show, right? I can't keep doing this for all the scenarios. I might not even remember what was the figure for the earlier scenario. What I would want my Excel to do for me is I would want it to show me all the scenarios at a glance. So let's just keep the mouse on the current, okay, and click on show. Okay, now let's go to summary. Okay, let's go to summary, right? I click on summary and it asks me whether I want a simple scenario report summary or a pivot table. Okay, right now I'll stick to this scenario itself. Okay, also friends, please notice here that it says result cells. Okay, now I'm not only interested in the B15, which is my amount left over, I'm also interested in the B13, which is my total expenses, right? So obviously my total final leftover is important for me, but I would also like to keep a track on my total expenses that I will incur in all the scenarios. So I will select this B13 and put a comma, and also select this B13. Okay, sorry, B13 and B15 separated by comma, right? Now let's just hit OK. All right, I just simply click on OK, and you will notice that it's given me a completely new sheet which has appeared on my left hand side of the existing sheet, and in that new sheet it has given me a beautiful summary. Yeah, see, it picks up my current values, does the calculation here, and shows me 1830 for the expenses and 1170 for the amount left over. Yeah, it does it for the promotion as well. Yeah, and it also does it for the job change, right? So it'll do it for all the scenarios and display them column by column besides each other. Now here it's very easy to make out that this one is the best one because it has the highest amount of final amount left over. Yeah, please note that I had given names to each of the expenses, right? The left column was given as the name range of the values in the subsequent right column, right? Because of that, it has properly shown up as monthly income, rent, travel, and stuff like that. If the namings were not done, this column would have shown up as B1 and B2 and B7 and B8, and then it would have become difficult for me to figure out which one is shopping, which one is food, which one is gas, yeah, and then there could have been confusion. Hence the naming was required here. Yeah, so that's what the scenario manager feature does for us. Yeah, let's quickly go back to the earlier sheet. Okay, I can click on data, I can click on what if analysis, I can click on scenario manager, I can click on summary. This time let's go with scenario with a pivot table report. So the summary, I'm not interested in just the simple summary. I would like to also make a pivot report. So I can simply click on the second option and click on OK. You will notice that another sheet has been made. This time the name of the sheet is not just summary, yeah, the name of the sheet is scenario pivot table. Yeah, and now I can simply use the concept of pivot table. Yeah, on the right hand side I can apply my tick marks, I can check, I can uncheck, I can work with those 4 windows given at the bottom on the right side, and I can accordingly make my pivot report and do my analysis. Yeah. So this was the scenario manager feature of the what if analysis command available in the data tab of Excel.